He was about to kill a man.
I don't know what you're thinking like that.
I was about to. Whew.
Cool. So you may notice that Charlie's disappeared. He's had to run off and take care of some stuff. He may be back. He may not. But we are going to carry on. Just before we get into the remakes, we need to do everybody's Sword and Shield starters. So, Kuamil, who did you start with?
I went with Grookey, but reflection, it would have been Score Bunny.
Grookey gang. Lily?
Grookey as well.
Mario?
All about that Grookey.
Cam?
Sobble Squad.
Poor form. Poor form.
No. Sobble's fine. Sobble's fine.
Dude, when I battled Leon, and I saw that what's his name, Cinderace, use his special Power Ball, I was just like, oh my god, I've been using the wrong starter the entire time. I was so mesmerized. As a football fan, that's a big reason why I was just like, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Right. So, Fire Red, Leaf Green. Who has opinions about this?
I'm going to abstain from this one because I've never finished it. So
I as well have not played this one as well.
I think the long story short, it's just a genuinely like great remake of Kanto. I think that it's better. I think it's better than Red, Blue, and Yellow in basically every way.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think it should rank high on this list. I don't think there's much more that needs to be really said about it. I don't remember anything that's like outside of like it being in the Gen 3 engine, of it being like anything hugely distinctly different from the original.
Just quality of life changes.
It's just a lot of exactly.
Didn't they add some like an extra area? Or am I misremembering?
I don't remember. Charlie, we're talking about Fire Red, Leaf Green. Was there anything like major change wise outside of like visual, like the Gen 3 stuff?
Wasn't there something with Cinnabar Island?
I thought there was an extra island.
I just put it on the list just to put it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. I think
it's like Sevi Islands.
Oh
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do the Sevi Island stuff. I think I just rolled credits on the game and dropped it because I was like a child.
A child.
So I didn't know. But I do. I think that they're really good. I think they're just red and blue, but better. They're the best way to play those games. So I think from that standpoint, I could see it being above Sword and Shield.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
I agree. I'm trying to find the list right now. I would personally for me, I would put it over. Personally for me, I would put it over Sinnoh, but I would be content with it being under Sinnoh. Like I would understand. Like I wouldn't be upset about it.
Thoughts, Lily? Where'd you land on these?
I liked Fire Red and Leaf Green. I liked the fact that when you finish the islands, a bunch of other Pokemon would come in, and it would make it more interesting, especially for the people who are, the Pokedex hunters and everything. Just to make it super quick and short, I'd put this above Sword and Shield. I would put anything above Sword and Shield. I don't know if I've expressed. I do not. I'm so mad, guys.
I would go below Sword and Shield, personally, but I can see the arguments kind of either side. So, is that 2 and 2 split again?
I'll jump in and just say I like the original 150, so I'll put it above the Sword and Shield.
I think that's a fair argument. I think that's a fair tiebreaker. Anyone argue?
Are you abstaining because you didn't finish it, or
I'm not going to even. Yeah, I can't vote.
So above Sword and Shield it goes.
Yeah, I'm happy to argue that. So now this one's probably going to be more controversial.
Here we go.
Sun and Moon. I'm going with Let's Go games next.
Okay.
To disappoint. So we're now staying in gen order. So Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu. Mario, did you play these ones?
Yes, this is the only Pokemon that I 100% at the Dex. Only because I had thank you very much. Obviously I had the most nostalgia with this one because yes, I'm the original yellow, blue, and red. So the fact that they just took all the elements that I loved as a kid and brought everything back, basically. Of course, I will say that my biggest detriment to me is that I just didn't like the catching. I mean, that's the big hook of the series, is that it's the thing that makes it so different from the other games, and I think it's not necessarily the best thing in the game, since it's all pretty much, waggle based and other things. Of course, you could do the handheld mode, but at the same time, I still have so much reference, obviously, because I think it took all of the wonderful things that were in the newer games and brought to the original 150. Obviously, it's strictly just the 150, which is totally fine. Again, very nice number. Its connection with Pokemon Go was also actually kind of fun. The way that they've revamped the Safari Zone, because I actually didn't really enjoy the Safari Zone as a kid. So I think that their way around it, I thought was actually pretty solid. And then obviously, I just think that the way that they handled the post-game stuff, actually, that was kind of fun. The fact that I could do these challenges between the different Pokemon and fight both red and blue and green, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's definitely like baby's first Pokemon, or Pokemon Go. People who got into Pokemon through Pokemon Go, like it was their entry into the kind of mainline series. I think in ways it progressed it a little bit, in ways it regressed it quite a bit. Obviously, the lack of battles, the whole catching system was a bit for me. But yeah, it's probably one of the lower ones personally for me. Lily, where'd you land on this one?
It's unfortunate for me to say I didn't like it, and it's because of just the fact that it's solely catching, besides the gym battles and and then certain trainer battles that you pass. But when it comes to encountering wilds, it was just all like you catch it and then you get your experience from it. And I didn't really like that. I just found it really boring. Also, because you could just focus on solely catching and you could make your Pokemon so strong. Like I bulldozed Brock and I bulldozed Misty. Like I've never felt so awful in my life. But being able to do that, it just didn't feel like a challenging game for me. However, I do find that there are a lot of people who their first Pokemon game is actually Pokemon Go. So for them to go from I know that Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee is kind of like an introduction from those group of people into the Pokemon series. So I can see like the benefits of it. So I don't want to say that I don't like that. I completely dislike Let's Go Pikachu. I see the benefits of it. I think it's a very smart move as a game. So yeah, I'm a very what's the word I'm thinking of? I'm very neutral with this game, but I'm leaning towards I don't like it as much as a lot of the mainline series. So it's not ranked high for me.
If I had to put it in a spot, the spot for me would actually be above red, blue, and yellow.
Oof.
Only because I think it's just a good version of those games, minus obviously the catching. Obviously, I think that seeing the world in the sort of new style, I thought was actually really cool. But that is where I put it. I think the other games are much better Pokemon games, and I just think that towards the lower tier, I would say that this is where I would put it personally.
So yeah, I'm pretty much the same play, and obviously Kuamil said this too, but like I definitely wouldn't normally put this game above Black and White, but I do think it goes right above Red, Blue, and Yellow. It came out and I definitely have a weird nostalgia factor for it because it came out during my first semester of college. It was like my first time away from home, and I get pretty bad seasonal depression sometimes. And it came out right when shit was starting to get really cold. For those, Mario, you live in Chicago, you know how it is. It gets real bad real quick here. And so I remember walking to Target that day just kind of on a whim to pick it up because I was originally not going to get it, and I ended up playing it, and it was just like chicken soup for the soul. It was just exactly what I needed at that point in time. And I don't really know how else to describe it aside from it was a perfect comfort food for me at that time. It was kind of just this exactly what I needed. The music was fantastic, which I think is a really big selling part for me, at least, is that remastered soundtrack. That orchestral version of these original songs from Red, Blue, and Yellow is so fantastic. It's incredible. And I also agree with Mario. I know that some people aren't a big fan of the art style, but I do think that it has a really good visual style. I just liked it.
It's very unique.
For sure.
I mean, I'm in that place.
Well, go on, Kuamil.
Sorry, I'm in that place with everybody where, for me, this is like a love letter to the original Gen 1 games, and it's like nice seeing this world that you've grown to know and love in a brand new sort of light. I'm the sort of guy that likes running into grass and not knowing what he's going to encounter. But I do respect that, you had Pokemon in the overworld, which added another sort of layer of depth, and that's why I really respect Sword and Shield for giving you both options. I have that problem where it's like you don't have the option to battle and then catch the Pokemon, which has been that sort of core thing throughout our entire lives, and so I don't really like the fact that you just have to catch the Pokemon and that's it. Move on. You only battle against trainers and the Elite Four. You don't get that time to bond with your Pokemon. I feel like the other games do, and so I have to put it above Red, Blue, and Yellow, but below the remakes, Fire Red and Leaf Green. That's where I'm going to put it.
Cam, anything to add?
So I didn't get to play a whole lot of Let's Go, but I did enjoy it for what it is. But see, the one thing that's really killing me is just X and Y, where X and Y is placed on this list. Because I want to place it like how I would put it, but like where X and Y is making me want to place it higher because that's how I feel about X and Y. So it's one of those things where, personally, it's like the last version of Kanto I would want to play. Out of the 3 Kanto games, but think
about it this way: you get to ride Pokemon, you get to have them following you around, which we haven't had for ages. What else was there about this game? Shit.
You could play.
I mean, it's proving people's points are actually.
If you're pushing me towards that end, I would put it under Fire Red, Leaf Green. Then
you get cool cutscenes as well when you encounter legendary Pokemon. So
I'm totally fine giving it higher than where I decide to put it.
I'd put it under Fire Red, Leaf Green. Then that's where I would.
No way is it better than Sword and Shield. There's
I have trouble above Sword and Shield and X and Y. I think it should be right above Red, Blue, and Yellow personally, but
I'm going. I would as well.
I would go below Red, Blue, and Yellow, but I'm
okay
happy
with it
to put it
going
above.
under Shield. But I definitely think it should be above X and Y. But I've already said my spiel about X and Y, so.
So I would, like I said, I would go below OG Red, Blue, and Yellow, but the consensus seems to be Mario, you're above Red, Blue, and Yellow standard originals, yeah? Lily, you're the same?
Yeah.
Is that where you would... Kuamil, that's where you said you would put it? Charlie, that's where you said you would put it?
Okay, but who would put it over X? Okay, so we're kind of all in agreement there outside of Sam. Who would put it above X and Y?
I would.
No.
I would. Yeah, I would.
Okay. Then
I would put anything above Sword and Shield.
under X and Y it goes. Then it sounds like.
Yep.
Yes.
Cool.
So underneath it, okay.
Yeah.
What's that saying? Familiarity breeds contempt. There's only so much Kanto I can stomach.
Yeah. So then I think this is the one that Cam and Charlie were potentially getting excited about. Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Straight at the top. We're not going to even talk about it. Just put it straight at the top and everyone can go home.
It's better than the originals.
I disagree there. That's where
it's gotta go.
It's because it has the ped meter. I just don't think so. No, I don't. No.
It's the most beautiful looking Pokemon game for me, hands down.
Yeah. I mean, there's so it takes. Sorry, This is the Pokemon game that I've spent the most time with, even though I broke the clock for Black and White 2. There is so much with this game that is so pretty that kind of defies everything that people expected after Sinnoh in a lot of ways. And it takes what we saw in the incredibly limited Game Boy Color or original Game Boy and just kind of turned it up to 11 in a lot of really awesome ways. So from that standpoint alone, the remake factor is awesome. On top of that, you have all the minigame stuff like the Pokeathlon. You have a bunch of other kind of quality of life upgrades and changes that have been added.
The soundtrack as well.
yeah, you can listen to the original soundtrack. You can listen to the original like Game Boy sounds. You have characters from all over Pokemon coming in. You've got like Crasher Wake shows up in a department store and hands you like a one of the Hoenn starters for some reason, which does not make sense to me. But yeah, you know, it's cool because he's a funny man. But yeah, I think this game just, while I don't know if it's necessarily the best Pokemon game, it's probably my favorite.
There's so much to do outside of when you complete the game. There's so much more added onto that as well. The Kimono Girls have like their own story now included. They were like really cool characters, but now they're like embedded within like the original story. That's really cool as well. It's like
all the events.
I'm curious to hear why Cam, like, I can see nostalgia reasons. I'll always have Gen 2 OG Silver at the top, but if I'm talking objectively, this is just basically Gen 2 on steroids, like next level. So
yeah,
I'll be interested to see what Cam has to say.
For me, just in general, I actually prefer the art style of the original. I think that like Heart Gold Soul Silver is incredible. Like I just prefer I just think the art style and the pixel art is like god tier in Pokemon and Johto. And I think that like it is cool that you get to like listen to the music and stuff like that in Heart Gold Soul Silver, but you don't have it while you're experiencing you're not like experiencing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do think like again like the events and stuff like that those are definitely really cool factors of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I definitely think that, and it's definitely my favorite Pokemon game after Crystal, but like no doubt. But I just something about it's not even like nostalgia. It's just the original style of like Crystal was already perfect to me, and I think like it just based off of how everything is designed for Johto, it just makes it's what makes Johto to me, if that makes sense. Like I would have rather have had like a remake with like updated like art of that style than like what we got in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Like that's like maybe like my one like criticism or just like wish, but like I mean that's not bad. Like again, like I think Heart Gold Soul Silver is easily my second favorite Pokemon game. But I get where you guys are coming with it. I just think at the end of the day it's more just personal preference for me. So
I think
Pokemon follow you. Yeah, let's go, baby.
I thought that was really cool at first, and then at a point that like started to just kind of get annoying for me. Just the Pokemon following you. I don't know.
But you're just running, and the Pokemon's behind, like, why are you running? Why are you running?
So, Lily, you were passionate about Gold and Silver in what feels like 6 hours ago.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's good. How do you feel about Heart Gold, Soul Silver?
Oh boy, I think it's better than the originals, and the reason why is because it's more based on the like battle system. Because I know that in Gold and Silver there's a huge difference between like what's a special attack and what's a physical attack, and a lot of it was based on the type. So like no matter what, you could have a really strong Pokemon with specific types, and you could have it with a really high attack stat, but that didn't matter. It had to have a special attack stat that was high enough to actually do anything. And with this game, they updated it so that it's not the type that matters, it's actually the attack itself that makes it special or not. So that's, I think, something that's really important for just like the distinct battle system, because this moves it. This, I think, was the beginning of that, and that's what propelled it to be added into additional games. Now, that's not like, I mean, that's just one part of why I like Heart Gold and Soul Silver so much, but then like obviously like the graphics, the features, like just there's just so much about it that just like the quality of life was increased, and I think that's super important. And that's why I would put it higher than Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Although I really am upset that they didn't like add like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and then like a Crystal version, because Crystal is my favorite. So I will always be salty about that, and that's like my only gripe as to why I don't want to put it higher than gold, silver, and crystal. But that being said, I wouldn't be mad if this was like 1 or 2.
Well, I think for the crystal, like I haven't gotten this far in the original game, so I can't. So I could be wrong about this, but from my understanding, they include kind of a finale to the legendary dog trio story, like they have in Crystal, in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Still, like there's still something there.
Yeah, they do. It's just I don't know. I just really liked the box cover for Crystal. There's just like it's just like all about. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like
that sweet nostalgia, baby.
Yeah, it's that
sweet nostalgia. How about this? Here's my caveat. What if it was number 2?
No, it's number 1. It's got to be.
I would put that at number 2. I would put that at number 2.
I would put it at number 2.
Objectively, so I think from like Kuamil said, from the nostalgia point of view, gold, silver, crystal is number 1. Nothing beats that first time of kind of going back and doing the second lot of 8 gyms and the original story, experiencing it for the first time. But
but here's the thing: is that really nostalgia though? Like what I'm saying is like
it's 1000%.
No. Like is it really like is it really nostalgia? Like when you're, it's just like that's like arguing for any game. Like, oh, this is the first time you experience this amazing thing that still holds up today. Like even if you were to play Crystal today, like I know people that have played Crystal, that play Crystal.
Oh, it still holds up. I don't think anyone's arguing.
Let me finish. I know someone personally who played Crystal for the first time like last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, and said it was the best Pokemon game they ever played. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not. I don't. That's the thing with the whole nostalgia factor. It's just like, I think everything that shines about Crystal, like, works no matter like when you played it, whether you play at first or you play it like today. Like everything
in my head, the way I'm doing it is: does Heart Gold and Soul Silver do anything worse? No. Does it do some things better? Yes. And therefore,
I'm just trying to say, like, Silver for me is my favorite Pokemon game of all time, hands down. But if I'm objectively looking at this list, I can't like Woodsy's trying to say, like, I can't look at Heart Gold and Soul Silver and say they did anything that made that experience for me about Silver like soured. Yeah. It doesn't do anything bad.
I think you came in with the primary argument that your biggest complaint about Heart Gold, Soul Silver compared to Crystal and compared to Gold and Silver is the art style. Now, looking at the trajectory of the Pokemon franchise, the art style, the trajectory of the Pokemon franchise, it makes sense for the art style to be that way, at least to me, based on the evolution from where they went and how they did it.
It makes sense.
But on top of that, I think the fact that you're your primary argument for it is the art style that, like, to me, comes off as nostalgia, because that art style is just 8-bit on the game.
I mean, it's
pretty dope, but it's beautiful. They're beautiful.
They're good, but it's that's what it sounds like to me.
It's a 3v3 right now, guys. So
yeah, it's like,
hang on. I think it's 4v2. Lily, wait, did you say
what's everyone putting it as?
I'm putting it number 1.
I have it 2.
2, 1. I'm also.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to put it at 2, Lily, because like.
No, I said I would be happy with it being at 1 or 2, but the reason why I put it as 1 is because it is a bit of nostalgia, but they improve so much of the gameplay mechanics that it puts it at number 1. Now let's talk about Omega Ruby and Sapphire, because it's real nice.
So here's the thing, like, with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I loved every bit of it.
Yeah, I love all the water stuff.
I think the only thing I'm like really like upset about Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is that we didn't get the bloody Battle Frontier. That's the one thing I'm really salty about. But
agreed.
The Delta's episode of Zinnia I really loved. Like, Steven is now integral to the main plot of the story, with like him looking for the Megastones and stuff like that. So I really enjoy this game, and I think it might be my second all-time played game in the Pokemon franchise. But yeah,
I was severely disappointed in
Yeah.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I really did not like it. I think part of it is I think the main issue is that it being a 3D remake of a 2D game, it really just kind of missed the mark on a lot of the exploration and part of the game, which was such a high point of Hoenn for me personally. I just I don't know. I really just a lot of that game just I wanted it to just be the Heart Gold and Soul Silver for Johto for Hoenn, and it just did not do that for me at all. And again, I think the main reason for it for me personally is because it's a 3D game, not a 2D game. But yeah, it's pretty low on my personal list.
Yeah, to back that up, I think the 3D aspect, well, not inherently a deal breaker. I think the way that it was executed is. I think that the sprite work in I love my favorite look is that kind of GBA sprite kind of thing, like Metroid Fusion. Like that's my shit, right? But you look at how they translated that into 3D. I think it had so much character before where it doesn't necessarily in 3D. And again, I don't know if I I don't know if I would say the same even for Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, because that still has the beautiful orchestrated music that feels so much more loving than Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire did as a remake.
They literally dropped off the trumpets. The most one of the most iconic things about Gen 3 was the trumpets, and they just dropped it off completely.
Exactly. And I think even though I agree with you, Kuamil, I think the story stuff that they did was really interesting and cool. Anything outside of the story that's supposed to have any sort of weight just falls flat on its face. Catching legendaries is a breeze, which is good for completing a dex, but it removes that special feeling from catching a legendary.
I totally agree.
And there's so many things compounding on top of that where it just kind of, while I still enjoy the game, it falls flat on its face. It rings hollow in a lot of ways.
I think you put it perfectly when you said that when you compare it to when you remake Silver into Heart Gold and Soul Silver, when you remake Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald into this, it's when you compare the two, it's like, oh, hang on a minute, it makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to wind down a little bit now and go back into a shell.
I remember being really excited picking this up because I'm sure it came out the same day as Amiibo.
Yep, and Smash.
So I remember going down to my local game store and just spending a shitload of money I can't even remember how old I was, but at an age where I didn't have a lot of money to spend. And I brought Amiibo, I brought this, I brought Smash. And I remember being really excited to play it. And then it was fine. It really didn't grip me like a lot of the other Pokemon games have. And being someone who loved the original Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, it was disappointing for me as well. So I kind of echo everything Charlie said in a less well said way.
I wish we didn't say this for last. Sounds everyone's down on it.
Yeah, I know. Killer.
As I said, I really enjoyed the games, but when I'm thinking about when you remake a game, I can totally understand now. And I guess a lot of my enjoyment came from the story and then the post game stuff where I was like doing competitive stuff and all that kind of stuff. So I can totally agree with everybody here.
The competitive aspect for the game was fantastic. I think it just takes what X and Y did and just refines a bunch of stuff. But outside of that, it just didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I did like the added characters, in Team Magma and Team Aqua, and I said, Zinnia at the end. But yeah, I guess I can go along with what you're saying.
Mario, did you play this one?
I did play this one. I did complete it as well. To be honest, I still find it to be not as rememberable as the later halves that I played. I think I have more reference for Black and White 2, even Platinum, which are not even my favorites. Over, say, Ruby and Sapphire. Again, I do love the fact that, yes, this was the second. And was this the second or was Sun? No, yeah. This came out, then Sun and Moon came out, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the fact that we were getting, this was the second iteration of, the 3D Pokemon. And I was like, okay, cool, let's see what they do next. And the fact that, they were bringing back the old one. which is also the area that I didn't play because I didn't play Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald originally, so I was excited to jump into it. But ultimately, I just think at the end of the day, it just doesn't stack anywhere near the. So if I had to put this like on the list here, like I would personally put it below X and Y, but I can see if anyone argue anywhere else.
I'd put it even lower. I'd put it below red, blue, yellow.
Lily, what do you have to say about this one?
Thank you. I completely agree. This shit needs to go below 10 because it is insulting. It is an insult of a remake. I will throw my hat down on that. It is an insult. Like, how dare you put super training into a game that
Stop this! Stop it, Lily, please! Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Stop it! He's already dead.
I'm sorry. It's just like it's so hard to see like Heart Gold and Soul Silver come out and see it like innovate the game that it like the original game and watch it grow and improve what was already so good, and then you're expecting it to already be like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire to be fantastic, and it's disappointing and it hurts. It hurts from from someone who truly loves those games. Like, I hate to say that because I feel like I'm just, but I just would put it below. I would put it behind red, blue, and yellow. I've never been more disappointed.
I didn't imagine putting that above black and white. Oh my!
Yeah,
God.
I can't fathom putting that. I can't fathom putting it above black and white.
I can't
I'll put it
fathom
above X and Y though. That's the thing. This is what's the
I
hard
mean,
about it.
I'm cool with Charlie.
Here's the thing with me regarding the black and white versus like at the end of the day, I really don't have much to lose here because I didn't really care for either of these games. But with black and white, when I finished black and white, I was like playing through black and white felt like a chore for me. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire at least had things that I was just like that I enjoyed, if that makes sense. Like I got the Hoenn Pokemon. Granted, you can say like you can say it's nostalgia, I guess, but like I just enjoy Hoenn Pokemon. Like that's just I prefer it over the Unova Pokemon. But like I enjoyed that. I enjoyed like I did like how Steven had a more prominent role in the story, despite me not really caring about the story that much. There were things that I got out of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Wally and his Gallade turning up in that sweet guitar theme tune of his,
Yeah, there were things that I did get out of the game that I just like when with black and white. I'm like, man, I just vividly remember black and white specific being the one game where I was just like crawling through it, just like, oh my gosh, like when is there something that's going to like really get me interested? So that's why I would put it above black and white. But if we put it one slot below, it's not going to be the end all be all for me.
I would go above black and white, but I feel like the consensus is going to be below black and white. Charlie, where do you land below black and white?
It's got to be below black and white. I mean, yeah, I like I said earlier, this is probably my least favorite Pokemon game. If only because compared to Sun and Moon, because Sun and Moon tried so many new things and wasn't a remake, and this game had the opportunity to be good, and it was good in a lot of ways. I think from a story standpoint it was, but everything else it just kind of fumbled the bag.
Yeah, that's fair. Kuamil, where are you?
I would have put this above X and Y, but if I'm going along with everybody else, I'm putting this below black and white.
You don't have to go with everybody else. You don't have to go with everybody else. Don't be peer pressured to do what you want to do. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, this is a collective list, right? And like, there's no way it's going above X and Y at this point. So I'm gonna have to put it below black and white.
If we weren't doing it to peer pressure,
personally, I would put it above X and Y. But I would
good. I'm going to put it above X and Y in that case.
In general, I would put it above X and Y, but I can't put it above red, blue, yellow.
Yeah, I can't physically put this above black and white. I can't.
So yeah, it's just I get you.
Okay,
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm in a similar boat. I'm in a similar boat with you. Just
Lily, where are you going with this one?
Below black and white.
Mario.
Below black and white.
And there we have it. It's below black and white.
And here's a secret Pokemon game that we can discuss for half an hour.
Pokemon Snap!
Now we're doing the fan games.
Revolution.
So yeah, that's it. That we've done it. Finally, we've got the.
Yeah.
Below black and white. Below.
Hang on. What am I waiting for, Charlie?
Oh no, sorry. Mario didn't do. Mario put it above black and white for a second.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix it. Yeah.
He was about to kill a man.
I don't know why you're breaking like that.
I was about to.
Let's run down Dualshockers' definitive ranking of the mainline Pokemon games.
I mean, I'm happy with like the first two. That's it.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where, like, man, like, I get it. I get why people like. And I do think that Heart Gold Soul Silver is like a perfect remake. Like I really like it for when push comes to shove. I think it's the best Nintendo DS game by period. I think it's it came out in 2010. Honestly, it's probably a top 10 game of the last decade if you ask me. Like I think it's phenomenal. But man, for me it's just the with Crystal and Gold and Silver is the old pixel art style, the music.
When I tell people Gen 2 is my favorite generation, I include Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I include the whole entire package together for me.
Yeah.
It's still hard for me to separate those games, but
yeah. So I'm gonna break it down. In first place, we've got Heart Gold Soul Silver. Second place, we've got Gold, Silver, Crystal. Third place, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Fourth is Black 2 and White 2. Fifth is Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. Sixth is Fire Red and Leaf Green. 7 is Sword and Shield. 8 is X and Y. 9 is Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. 10 is Red, Blue and Yellow. 11 is Black and White. 12 is Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. 13, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. And 14 is Sun and Moon. That's it. We've done it. Well done, everybody.
yay!
Thank you all for taking the time out of your days. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. Thank you, Lily. Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me at Twitter and Instagram at CoolCatLilyC. I tweet about Waluigi a lot and hot takes sometimes. Yeah.
Nice. Kuamil, where can people find you? What are you up to?
You can find me at www.pokerumble.com. I'm also at simplysassyvids.com. And yeah, I'm just looking about on the internet usually.
Promote Simply Sassy Vids for a second. Just give us a little quick
time. Oh, Simply Sassy Vids. We just make all sorts of videos now, talking about like would you rather's. We get guests on like kind of funny members. We had Mike Bithell on yesterday, and we just talk about games as well. So we just do a whole hodgepodge of stuff. But we're always looking to talk to more best friends on the show. So
I'm waiting for my invite. I'm waiting for
dude, it's so hard getting everyone together because like we're from all over the place, like Australia, the US, UK. But I'll definitely get you all on.
Create a form.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
So yeah, that's Kuamil. Make sure to follow him everywhere. Mario, what have you got going on at the moment?
You can catch me obviously here always at the youtube.com/Dualshockers where you'll see a lot of videos. There is a show that we've been doing for a while called the Dualshockers Discussion. It will be turning into something eventually. I cannot reveal that just yet, but I'm excited. It will be more formal of a show. It's very, very cool stuff. But yes, this week, please check our videos going out. We have a First 30. Obviously, Sam Woods, you did a really silly wrestling game coming out, which should already be out by this point that I released this. So yes, watch that. Great discussion on anticipated games for 2021. And then, of course, some other stuff in the works. Twitter,
awesome.
Rivera, by the way.
Yes. Charlie, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at CHAS_MKE. That's Chaz Milwaukee. You can also find me on my podcast. That's Comfort Food, and you can keep up with that podcast on Twitter at Comfort_Food Pod. And that's all about kind of arts and media and stuff like that. But otherwise, keep up with my work at Dualshockers. I got a review dropping this week. I'm not going to say what game, but keep up. Stay tuned.
Nice. And finally, Cam, what are you up to? You got any cool stuff going on?
Yeah. So For Dualshockers, I'm kind of moving into a semi-contributor position right now, just because in the coming months I'm getting married. I'm doing wedding.
Oh, congratulations!
I just thank you.
Yay!
I want to. I just want to like make sure that I don't like drop the ball on my Dualshockers work and just kind of like move into a contributor position for the time being. I still like I'm technically a staff writer as far as I'm aware, but like just it won't, it'll be more seeing me do reviews and editorials than day-to-day news for the time being. And then outside of Dualshockers, I'm going to be a permanent guest host for the next few months on IGN Unlocked, which is really, really cool. Very excited about that. Xbox is like where I mainly like to play my games. I love talking about Xbox, and it's going to be really, really fun. So shout out to Ryan McCaffrey for giving me that opportunity while Destin Legary's out on his paternity leave.
Ryan's killing it.
And you can follow me.
He made a great decision. Oh, yeah.
You can. Well, thank you so much, Lily. That means a lot coming from you. And you can follow me on Twitter and Twitch, where I stream on Tuesdays to Fridays, 1 to 5 p.m. Pacific time at Cam Final Mix.
Awesome, making us proud. And then me, I'm Sam Woods. You can find me at Captain Woodsy on Twitter. Thank you, everybody, for watching at home. Make sure to subscribe to the Dualshockers YouTube channel, and we will see you all again soon.